moved into investment banking in a much broader way at Goldman Sachs, and of course ran that business before becoming co-president of the firm with Schwartz back in 2016. But David Solomon, well, first of all, neither of those guys is a Goldman lifer. Schwartz came to Goldman from Citigroup, or Citicorp as it was known back then. And David, of course, was at Drexel, as I mentioned, and then subsequently went to work for Bear Stearns. So each of them brings a different background and a different character. The fact that David is in his blood a leverage finance guy says something about his character. If you spend any time with him, you know how gregarious he can be. He is not Lloyd Blankfein in temperament, and certainly not in background. Lloyd is a J. Aron guy originally, came to Goldman through that acquisition back in the early 1980s, and is in temperament and mood, I would say, and in the way that he runs the firm, very much a trader. David Solomon, if he does end up being CEO to succeed Lloyd at some point when, we don't know. There are scant details. There is going to be a very different kind of CEO.
There was a real urgency to the conversation on Friday following that Wall Street Journal report. Does there need to be a real urgency to the conversation this morning? Lloyd Blankfein saying, I look forward to continuing to work closely with David in building our franchise around the world. Gary was around for a while. Is there any reason why David Solomon can't be waiting around for a while?
A couple. First of all, the timing around this is not entirely, it would appear, of Lloyd's making. I think you can say fairly that the clock is ticking on Lloyd's term as CEO, not just because of this. The man is 63. He had lymphatic cancer. He was going to retire, presumably, at some point in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Henry Paulson, although it wasn't by choice, left Goldman at the age of 60 to become Treasury Secretary. Goldman hasn't had, to my knowledge, a CEO 65 or older since perhaps Sidney Weinberg ran the firm way back when. I don't know what age Gus Levy was when he was carried out, if you will. But it wasn't 63. So this was going to happen. Now that this change has taken place, that Schwartz is retiring from the firm suddenly, without any warning, having served apparently amicably as co-president since they were both named in 2016, yes, for sure this starts the clock ticking. Whether Lloyd leaves by the end of the year, whether it's 18 months from now, it kind of doesn't matter. The firm has signaled its intentions. That's not to say that this is carved in stone. Something else could happen. There are other people waiting in the wing. There is this theory, I won't call it a conspiracy theory, but there's theory out there that Gary Cohn's going to come back and run the firm.
Well, that puts that to bed.
The probability of that has to be quite low.
But this move this morning puts that to bed, doesn't it?
Does it?
Well, if it becomes
nothing's definitive. No, because Goldman hasn't said David Solomon is the firm's next CEO to succeed Lloyd Blankfein on such and such a date. There is still room for something else to happen, but it's probably a narrower window than it was.
Your sense of things, though, this is a consequence of a power struggle. Is that what you're suggesting this morning?
There's always a power struggle when there are two people holding the same job.
Yeah.
By definition. Now, in every outward sense, Harvey and David were getting along well. But each of them aspired to be the CEO of the firm. I remember having let me put it to you this way. I remember having a conversation with Gary Cohn. It must have been around 2010. It might have been 2009. Could have been a bit later. Forgive me, because my memory on the subject isn't perfect. But this was an on-the-record interview. It was on television in which I asked Gary Cohn, do you want to be CEO of Goldman Sachs? Gary said, of course I want to be CEO of Goldman Sachs. Harvey Schwartz and David Solomon, in a candid moment, would have given you exactly the same answer.
Of course. Let's cross over to Charles Peabody, shall we, of Compass Point. He joins us now on the phone. He's neutral on Goldman Sachs with a $245 price target. Charles, let's talk about change at Goldman Sachs. It's too early to call the end of Lloyd Blankfein. That is not what you take away from the statement this morning. It is all about succession planning. How important is that succession planning for Goldman Sachs, Charles?
You think they're restarting the stream?
Cohn left and the two runners-up were put in place. You know, I think it's pretty clear to me anyway that Lloyd Blankfein will probably leave either at the end of this year or sometime in 2019, which would kind of be in conjunction with the play out of the current strategic plan.
Charles, for the company itself, revenue, they need to generate some revenue growth. You streamline the top of the bank in terms of management. Where do they need to be more aggressive, and where do they need to pursue revenue more aggressively?
Well, this is one of the reasons we were sort of favoring Solomon as the next in line, is because if you look at the strategic plan that they put out last September, a majority of the $5 billion of projected revenue growth, of incremental revenue growth, was going to come from a financing type situation. And financing is the lead product of the investment bank. And so we saw the future as more of an investment banking future than a securities or trading future, and that favored Solomon.
Would that make sense for you as well, Eric? That strategically the direction of this bank, where they're looking for growth, it suits the attributes and the skill set of David Solomon?
That they're looking for it in banking?
Yeah.
Well, yes, to a degree, but the fact that trading has been a, relatively speaking, weak business for Goldman Sachs over the past year, I don't think should lead one with the conclusion that there is no future for Goldman there. There's plenty of future there for Goldman. The question now, of course, if David Solomon really is the heir apparent to Lloyd Blankfein, does he have confidence in the people who are running the trading business right now? And if he does, can he keep them there? There are three people: Pablo Salome, Ashok Varadhan.
Alright, so we got about 7 more minutes of the stock market. So a little bit about today. I don't have a day trade available until tomorrow. As you guys can see right here, I don't have any trades available. I can use my margin, which I will probably do, and then hold it until tomorrow, which I'm completely fine to do, because that doesn't count as a day trade. But as soon as I'm in, I can't get out today until tomorrow. Otherwise, I go into a restriction on the account as a pattern day trader. So that's a little bit of what's going on. So as soon as I'm in there, I'm kind of stuck. So just so that you guys know a little bit more about that one. So that's just about it for today that I'll be doing. I can look into this. I can look into stocks. If you guys have any stocks that you guys want me to look at and have questions about, let me know, because that way I can look at them as well. Otherwise, we'll wait until there's a good time to buy and then hold it until tomorrow with my margin.
Investment bank has actually generated more net income. It's second in revenues to trading, but it's generated more net income in this past year than the securities or trading division. And I think those things favor the investment.
So yeah, we'll just look. We'll move this over here though.
Charles, just to wrap things up with you,
so we can look at other stocks over here.
To really paint the succession planning picture has come from over the last week. I assume that Goldman Sachs didn't do this over the weekend following a Wall Street Journal report. This must have been in the works already.
I would agree with you. I'm not, sure where the urgency has come from, whether it's come from the shareholder base or internally to, generate some sort of level of stability. But it was interesting, in terms of where this company is headed. When they restructured their commodity division recently, they did shift a number of the sales trading team from the commodity division into the
Chevron is doing nice and increasing in the pre-market. By the way, guys, if you hear any background noise, as in a dog, I got some family members that left on vacation until tomorrow, so I'm kind of dog watching as well. So I have a doggy in my room who's just laying down right now. So if you do happen to hear a dog, I apologize.
I think it was put to bed a while ago, quite honestly. I think you now look to the next group of people that Eric highlighted, people like
yeah, Chevron's doing good. Apple's doing very good in the pre-market as well.
Those are the people that I think Eric Lane, John Waldron, those are the people that Mark Nachman, those are the people that you're going to want to start now watching as.
The only other thing that I could do is I could sell Apple shares, but I don't want to yet because I think it'll go up higher.
People were almost reading a eulogy for Lloyd Blankfein of Goldman Sachs before he's actually stepped down. That's not the news this morning. This is about succession planning. And I look to another bank at JP Morgan and think, okay, we've got the Goldman Sachs succession plan. Where's the JP Morgan succession plan?
That's a good point. I will say this, not to deflect,
Sure.
but another way of reading the statement from Goldman Sachs.
Alright, so
is
right
that
now
saying,
I'm
"I'm still
also
CEO."
sending
That
my
hasn't changed today.
the guy who taught me how to
So
trade.
yes, he is still very much there.
I am
And
going to
you
be
agree,
actually
the
sending
answer
him
is
the
a bit
link to
blank.
this
Uh,
stream as
just
well.
Let's be clear.
He's
That's
going to
all
be
Friday
tuning
night
in
Superstore.
from time to
Tonight
time.
reporting, and it must have been some
So
pushback as
that'll
well
be fun.
from whoever the sourcing was for that story at the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, there's some tea leaf reading into that Wall Street
By the
Journal
way,
story.
guys, as some of you guys may have noticed, I've been having trouble getting the stream set back up into private mode, and that's why some of you haven't been able to get in. So the way that I've only been able to fix is set it back up to public, so anybody can watch until I can get that fixed, which I should get that fixed here very soon, because we are looking into that. But right now, I guess, if you have any other friends that want to watch as well, friends, family, it's right now they can join in on the YouTube channel. Alright, as you can see here, Apple the 100-day chart started up really high here. It's kind of like not moving too much right now. It's trying to do a little bit. Oh, they had a high of 181. What? Started up really high in the pre-market. That would have been nice to see at 5 o'clock this morning. I was awake too. I didn't have this up. But we got 1 more minute. So right here you can see the MACD decided to keep going up. Signal line is following. Here are the histograms. It's a little bit higher than the last 3 days. So this is good. Stochastic going up. Getting started up higher. So this is a good sign so far for us for Apple. Let's check out Chevron. Chevron going up here, going up, going up. Started up higher. It's doing very well. I'm very happy to see this. A little sell-off right here though, as you can see, but that's okay. Ooh, look at that. And the market opens. Started up higher again, so that's good. Here is good. In the meantime, I kind of want to watch Bank of America as well. Bank of America crossed here. It's going up. Here it's been going up, but it's kind of high on the stochastic. Price action, it's pretty good up here. So like all good signs besides that the stochastic is really high. That's the only downside, but it's still good.
25 seconds away from the opening bell in New York City, with futures firmer after a big week of gains of about 3.5% on the S&P 500. We're up about 0.2%.
All right, let's see here. The Dow is climbing up, so this is good.
So the big gains we saw through the back end of last week on the S&P 500.
All right, Apple good, Chevron good,
Just a little bit of a bit. Yields lower by a basis point at 289 on a US 10.
Chevron good.
Very range bound through the morning in a very small range.
A little sell.
Pretty much going nowhere, just south of 120. 2023 at 122.97, and crude bleeds lower by about 0.6% to $61.68. With me around the table is Peter Cheer of Academy Securities, Neil Dutter of Renaissance Macro Research, and Ginny Martin.
Alright, so we got...
We can take a pause now, away from the Goldman Sachs show, Neil, and get your thoughts on this regime shift that a lot of people talked about after the January payrolls report, and then put to bed after the February payrolls report. Where does the truth lie?
Well, I mean, to borrow from LL Cool J, don't call it a comeback. The U.S. economy's been here for years. I mean, you know, this notion of regime shift, I think, is ridiculous. I mean, what we have is basically an economy that has solid cyclical momentum, and that's drawing people back into the workforce, and we still have a benign inflationary environment.
Okay, R2 stocks are doing decent. Let's see here. Shit. Dow Jones just dropped 10 points, so they're only up 35 total.
You know, I mean, to me, that's a benign backdrop for the equity market. I mean, the Fed may not be as much of a friend as it used to be, but it's certainly not your enemy right now. And I think the economy is healthy, and I do think that maybe that
Okay, Bank of America climbing, Chevron really climbing. I think we're gonna see Chevron hit 118 today.
I think productivity is picking up, and I think labor force is continuing to expand, and I think that's going to
It's a
keep
good chance on this.
Could it share your thoughts? I think everyone's ignoring the fact that we're reducing the balance sheet, which is an additional form of hiking, right? We're at 20 billion a month that they are reducing. That switches to 30 billion in April. That'll be up to 50 billion a month by September. I think we have never seen a balance sheet reduction of this magnitude. So they're going to be, it gives them another reason to be cautious on the rate hikes. I think they are more like 2 to 3 rate hikes because they need to see this. And the other thing that I'm hearing more and more is people are starting to get a little bit concerned. You're seeing LIBOR rise. The cost of short-term funding.
Let's see Amazon real quick. Amazon curving. Good.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think some of that is
100-day chart going up here. Kind of. This is bad right here because it's going to cross. Price action good. Everything else is good besides the stochastic is kind of way too high. It could do something like right here and still go, climb up, but it is struggling a little bit.
It's not something that I'm really looking at. I mean, it's something you have to keep an eye on, but I'm not sure if it's something that's going to
I don't think it's
really bring the rest of the market down.
I don't think it's actually pressure. I think it's just a higher cost, right? It's not signaling any. There's a lot of good reasons for LIBOR.
Chevron right here, a little red right there, but still way high up. And this one's up $168 now. It's good.
I keep hearing about Goldilocks all through the weekend and all through the morning.
Well, I think if you go back to that January payrolls report, it gets a lot of the blame, but I don't think it actually deserves a lot of the credit.
Let's see this cheap stock. CHK. This one's a good penny stock that you could make money off from. Not short selling though, just regular buy and sell. It's going up here. Good. Price action good. The only thing is like that price action right here is reaching the top from right here. Everything else is good though. On there. Apple, look at this. It's doing very well. Chevron about to hit 118.
The backdrop, though, the framework for thinking about the market,
176.
Rich, inflation, poor. Is that still the best way for thinking about things, or is that starting to change?
I think so. In the equity market, there is no evidence whatsoever that we're worried about inflation. And this is one big contrast between, I think, what's happening in the bond market and what's happening in the equity market. Certainly, tips have shown a lot of interest over the last few weeks. The bond market prices have changed. Certainly, there's some.
Okay, so this penny stock right here is a resistance at the 17. And look at that here, it already hit 118. So it did touch 118, so that's good. Here, this one, Apple is gonna hit 181 still.
It doesn't necessarily
A
come
little
with
sell
automatic ways to
on
reflect the recent change in
Chevron just
inflation,
because it
but
touched
new
a high.
news in the
Ooh,
equity market
buyers
for this.
came
Look
right
at you. We
back.
spent a long time over the last
Look
couple
at all
of
that
weeks talking
momentum.
about the potential that higher rates bleed
That's
down to the
nice.
capital structure, starting with the senior debt, the junior debt, then working its way through into equity. Do we have to wait a little while longer before those higher rates that you talked about, that tension at the front end?
Few sellers, but momentum's still good.
I think we already had that, right? We got to that 290 level, that bled into equities. So I think we're somewhere probably 310 is the next time it really starts impacting equities. I think we can gradually rise, hit 3%, maybe break through, and it has very limited impact on equities, especially if the front end can remain controlled. I think right now we're supposed to be watching that front end a little bit more carefully than the long end in terms of bleed on effect equities.
Just to get you up to speed on some of the
Okay, so this penny stock one is struggling a little bit.
after Friday's reporting from the Wall Street
Let's
Journal.
go back to
Goldman
Bank
Sachs
of
is
America.
confirming
Bank of
a very
America is doing
solid
really good.
company's
So it's
stock
about to
price
do a
has
breakup
been
right here.
by Harvey Schwartz as
The only thing is the stochastic is kind of high.
Lloyd Blankfein. The takeaway this morning, though, Lloyd Blankfein certainly going nowhere.
But again, we wait until at least the 45-minute mark.
And Solomon will be serving as the sole president and chief operating officer, which takes us straight over to Julie Hyman to get some stocks to watch this morning. Goldman Sachs completely unchanged off the back of that news. Let's get some more movers, Jules.
Yeah, we saw a little bit more of a move in Goldman on Friday on the original headlines, but not much. Let's get to some stocks that are moving a bit more. Johnson Controls is one of them. The maker of various auto.
All right, Apple is in the 181s.
Power solutions business that makes lead acid batteries for cars and light trucks. It's about 24% of the company's revenues and 33% of its profit last year. Those shares up by nearly 2%. Let's also take a look at the semis because there's a lot going on there. Micron is one of the stocks on the move up about 4.6%. The price
dropped a little right below. Still on a good uptrend here. Stochastic is just going down a little bit.
Raising its price target to $80. Nomura saying it's in the early stages of a breakout. The DRAM pricing is in a positive uptrend, and also that it could be a target if Intel does buy a semiconductor producer other than Broadcom. Which brings me to my next board here, and this ongoing saga here of Broadcom attempting to buy Qualcomm. Now, the latest that we're hearing is we're getting a report based on CNBC reporting from CFIUS, the regulator that looks at Intel.
See how this one right here? Yeah, it was red, but look at this. Now it's above this resistance line right here. So this is good, but the only thing is the stochastic so high, so it's still a little bit dangerous to be in there right now. Okay, looks like the TV is buffering. But yeah, it's just kind of dangerous right now. Like you can see right here, though, it becomes like a little support though. Okay. Now it wants to climb up a little bit more. Chevron, a little struggle. It's back in the 70s. Let's check it out. So it looks like here the MACD is curving. Histogram's going down, so you can see it may cross. Stochastic is going down pretty fast though.
But also in the data center. In the data center, Broadcom is #1 in networking, and I know that that's something that Intel covets.
Just historically, Intel has not done these kind of massive
A little red right here. It's in the 40s now.
Something like $16–17 billion, Christopher. What would bring it to the table to come to do M&A in this size?
Yeah, I mean, Broadcom themselves and their CEO, Hock Tan, really has proved that pushing scale here and scale advantages really can create durable advantages.
So Apple doing very well this morning. Very happy to see this.
They can take on an acquisition like this one and really push those scale advantages.
Christopher, scale's one thing, but it's certainly complicated. You know, we're calling this around the table the Russian dollar chip deals. If you think about it, Intel potentially going after Broadcom, Broadcom going into Qualcomm, and Qualcomm after NXP. How complicated is it to really merge all those companies all at once?
Incredibly complicated. You know, there's absolutely no doubt about it, and it's not only incredibly complicated from an operational standpoint, but as you can see from a regulatory standpoint.
point, it's incredibly complicated as well.
Well, what kind of regulatory scrutiny would Intel and Broadcom potentially get if indeed Intel did consider actually putting a firm offer on the table?
Yeah, I think there would be a lot of...
Alright, it's crossing right now here. Stochastic goes super low, so it could help bounce Chevron right here, because as you can see it's trying to curve up with the price action, so this is really good. So it could help try to bounce it back up. It's in the 60s now, so 50s, 60s.
Yeah, this is an odd one. This
Few
is a
sellers.
You know, Broadcom has said they are going to domicile in the U.S., so there's some question as to whether CFIUS even has jurisdiction. Some people believe there are some new...
A little higher start here, so that's good. It did confirm it's crossing, but the price action is good. So it looks like with the stochastic, it's trying to curve it up. So this is really good for us right here.
Beyond that, what I can say is that no Chinese firm going forward is likely to buy any U.S.
Right here, you're going to see Apple possibly even hit 182 today. So that's really good.
For any Chinese acquisitions.
Christopher Runnan of Susquehanna, great to catch up with you, sir. Thank you very much for giving us your time. And the market's then about 11 or 12 minutes into the session. We are firmer once again after we rallied into the back end of the last week. Up another 1/4% on the S&P 500. Up about 1/3 of 1% on the Dow. Next
a little struggle right here for Apple though. It's kind of trying to build a support line right here. How's a 5-minute looking? 5-minute looking pretty good. It's on a nice uptrend. Chevron a little bit. Nice. Chevron a little bit struggling right here. Let's look at Bank of America. Bank of America has been doing very well. Alright, and then the Dow Jones as well is up 81 points, so this is good for us. Chevron kind of staying in the 50s, kind of consolidating a little bit right here. It's trying to, so the stochastic right here is trying to bounce it up still. Price action's kind of been staying around the same, so this is actually pretty decent for us. Here, look at this curve up. Here's the histogram trying to work its back towards the 0, so this is good. The MACD is above the 0, so that's also good. Look at this, Apple, 181.80. This is really nice for us on Apple.
This is Bloomberg Markets, The Open. I'm Kaylee Lyons here in the Hewlett-Packard Enterprise Green Room. Coming up later today on Bloomberg Markets, Carla Hill, former U.S. Trade Representative.
14 minutes into the session here in the United States. Let's whip through the price action for you. It is as follows. Equities look like this, up 1/3 of 1% on the S&P 500. The Dow also up by 1/3 of 1%, positive 0.1.
180, 192. Oh, 80 now. 82, that's what it was.
On a US 10-year. And in the FX market, a little bit of dollar weakness against the yen. spot 60, but a real quiet in the FX market at 123. No real quiet as far as the concerns and the conversation goes over at Goldman Sachs. Some news coming from Goldman today that David Solomon will become the sole president of the company, elevating him over Harvey Schwartz, who will depart as the eventual successor to the chief executive officer, Lloyd Blankfein. The stock unmoved off the back of this, with positive
181.84. This one's in the 60s and it's trying to move up still. How's Amazon looking? Amazon consolidating right here. MACD may cross. Histogram is headed towards down, but here the stochastic is trying to curve.
Junk bonds, the high yields drawing investor demand as well. Still with me, Peter Cheer of Academy Securities, Neil Dasso of Renaissance Macro Research, and Gina Martin Adams of Bloomberg Intelligence. Peter, lost in all the noise last week was the third biggest debt deal for credit on record.
All right, let's see here. So what's going on? We're on Bank of America trying to climb. It's about to hit 33. It's nice to see.
It priced very attractively. I think it was almost a win-win type situation where CVS, the bonds, I looked at the 30 years, I think it came at T+1.
Again, if you're just getting into the stream a little bit, what I mentioned earlier is I'm out of day trades for today. I cannot do any because I used my last one on Thursday, so I have to wait until tomorrow, which works out perfectly because tomorrow I can sell Chevron if I really wanted to. If it keeps going up, I'm not going to, but I could. But right now, you know, I'm out of day trade. So what I'm looking at today is at my margin to see if I'm going to buy anything today and hold it until at least tomorrow. So I'll be looking at dividend stocks very shortly as well. Right now I'm just looking how the patterns are going from the stocks that we're actually in, and then go from there. See if I do want to purchase more into them and hold it until tomorrow. That is possible as well. A little struggle on Apple, but
I think active managers can and continue to beat that in fixed income space in particular.
So Neil, we talked about tension a while ago in the market.
A little pushback on Apple, but right here you can see there's a support here at 93. Top at 98. So good 5-cent movement there. 97 now. Chevron hitting in the 70s again. So look at that, now it's working its back up. So the stochastic dropped way too fast. Like right here was just, it dropped a lot. So here was a good dip buy. But like as you can see here with the price action, yeah, the stochastic kept going down, but the price action stayed around the same. So I wasn't like worried too much there, which helps when the stochastic crosses here again to climb right back up.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt about that. I mean, again, this is coming at a time when there's a diminished supply.
181.82 on Apple, so this is good.
The stimulus is coming at the wrong time. Well, for the financial markets, I think it could be coming at the right time, and this is one of the reasons why I'm kind of skeptical of this idea that we're going to see a massive backup, in the back end of the Treasury curve on sort of fears of deficit financing.
It's going pretty well.
I don't see it.
On Apple, 182 incoming. It'll be good to see that. Because right now we are watching Apple reach its ultimate high. So, and it's crossing right here. Wants to cross anyways. Even though look at that histogram going down a little bit, and it's still trying to climb. So that's good. Bank of America right here broke 33.
Well, I think as far as the U.S. is concerned, I mean, it's still the risk-free and risk-free asset, and it's a benchmark. I mean, I think we can talk about Europe. I mean, perhaps when
how's that 5-minute looking? 5-minute looking good here. Was a little bit of a struggle as you can see here, but it's ready to climb up again. Stochastic kind of high, and it looks like it wants to cross.
You don't as long as rates are rising. One of the really key characteristics characteristics of the equity market is these more defensive.
Alright, let's look at some dividend stocks for tomorrow, the 13th.
Not only because you have improving economic conditions and improving earnings growth, which generally favors the cyclicals, but also because rates are rising, and as rates are rising,
Alright,
sort of
pay amounts, pay date, ex-dividend date tomorrow, where we have to be in today.
Yeah, I think also
Let's see if I recognize any of the stocks.
Risk-free. If you look at the big global corporates, you have some safety away from U.S. policies, right? A company like an Apple is not a domestic focus, so whatever we do, I think you will see credit spreads continue to tighten if we do anything bad on the Treasury side. People are very, very comfortable with the risk of the big global.
Coles doesn't have that much volume though.
Chair of Academy Securities, Neil Dudder of Renaissance Macro Research, and to Judy Martin Adams of Bloomberg Intelligence. Guys, it's been great to catch up with you. Thank you very much. About 21 minutes into the session.
Yeah, not too many good ones for dividend that I recognize anyways.
P500 Dow up by 0.4. From New York, this is Bloomberg.
Apple, a little struggle. Hit that high of 181.92 right here. That's been like the high over here too, so kind of pushed back down from that, and here it looks like the MACD wants to cross. But look at this. So look at this though. The stochastic dropped so fast right here that when it gets a little bit lower, it could really bounce it and then make Apple cross, because right here it started into a consolidation in the price channel right here. So this could really help move it up. Like we may see a cross, but I don't think it will be for too long because it's staying in its consolidation, as you can see right here. So within the next few minutes we'll see, I think we'll see it continue up, but we'll see how it goes. It's consolidated right now. It could go down more, but my money is on that it'll climb up soon again. It won't go down for too long. It's a little down right here, but just because it kind of has to, it's pulling it down. But alright, Chevron back in the 80s. This is interesting. Even Apple's doing the exact same. I mean, Amazon's doing the exact same thing here.
From New York, this is Bloomberg. It's time now for the trading diary. The US holds key debt auctions today and tomorrow after last month's sale drew lackluster demand. Tuesday also brings US consumer price data for February, and UK Chancellor of the Exchequer Philip Hammond issuing his spring statement on Wednesday. Germany's Angela Merkel inaugurated to
right here, it's trying to bounce it back up a little bit. Price action good. A little struggle on Apple's compared to Amazon, but basically two are almost doing the exact same thing there.
To me, this is the big test of foreign demand. Who's going to be coming in to buy the auctions that are bigger than they have been in the past at a time when the big bid-to-cover ratio is the lowest since 2009. It's a gauge of demand broadly for treasuries.
Do you think that really is anything to be concerned about at this point? Why?
I don't think that there's any concern about whether the U.S. government will be able to sell the debt and raise the financing. The question is, at what cost? Right now, you're seeing an increasing deficit and increasing...
Back in the 70s for Chevron, but that's okay.
Interest rates are still near record lows.
Netflix going down pretty good.
The deficit becomes that much more difficult to really manage.
And this is the big question. It's not whether the U.S. can raise money. That's not the question. They will be able to do it. The question is at what price, and what does this indicate about foreign demand for the U.S.?
Exactly. There will be a price that gets this done.
That's right.
And if bonds are still trading around sub 1% on a German 10-year...
Yeah, but you can't look at the absolute yields because it's all about foreign exchange.
Here across and wants to climb up, but it has to wait for the rest to climb up too, to really help move it up.
It's a huge shift.
Absolutely. At the same time, people are wondering which could sell off more. I mean, Bridgewater, for example, is looking at German bonds and saying those are what need to readjust, not U.S. yields. So, I mean, there are a lot of big questions, and last week was very quiet.
Okay, so this one's back in the 40s, 50s for Apple, so kind of took a 40-cent dive since we've seen it.
Lisa Bram, it's great to catch up with you. Of course, you can catch up with Lisa and hear from her on Bloomberg Radio with Pim Fox coming up at the top of the hour. That starts in about 5 minutes' time.
Okay, even Bank of America dropped below 33 again. We're crossing right there. Going down. 5 minute though. Let's look at the 5 minute. Stochastic is trying to pull it down, so that's why it's dropping right here. But look at this. Right here on the 1 minute. Could help bounce it back up pretty good. On Bank of America. So not much is going on so far today. Chevron in the 60s, a little sellers though at the 69, 68. Sellers are trying to push down Chevron. They're having a hard time doing so because it's just staying around where it's at, but let's see here. Macy's though, Macy's doing a dividend on Wednesday, like you have to be in tomorrow. Yeah, not a good buy, not yet. Stochastic is kind of low, but it could take a few days on that. So no. See how it's just consolidating right here? Right here is like a top, and right here is kind of like a bottom. So it's staying in between both of those right now. It's kind of in the middle. Apple kind of struggling though, it's in the 30s. But it's crossing here with the stochastic, trying to help curve it. You can see it's trying to curve it right here. Histogram headed back towards the zero. Price action is doing good, so I'm not worried about Apple right there. Chevron doing good.
To the first word news this morning. Police in Nepal say at least 49 people were killed when a plane crashed while landing at Kathmandu Airport. 24 others were injured. The plane was a twin-engine Bombardier Dash 8 on a flight from Bangladesh. Here in New York, all 5 passengers were killed when a helicopter crashed in the East River. Only the pilot survived. Police and fire department divers pulled the passengers from the wreckage. The helicopter had been chartered for a photo shoot. Special counsel Robert Mueller is at a crossroads. According to current and former U.S. officials, Mueller's investigation into whether
This is good right here. Consolidating right here. It's trying to climb. That was a 5-minute looking for Chevron. A little red right here, but you can see here even on the 5-minute, right here at the bottom, right here is the top. So that's an easy 30-cent trade right there. If you were trading within a consolidation, you could buy it around here, sell it up here.
24 hours a day, powered by more than 2,700 journalists and analysts in more than 120 countries. I'm Kaylee Lyons. This is Bloomberg.
Gotta definitely watch. And make sure though it's on a turnaround. You can do that by watching like the 1 minute. Here on the Apple, it looks like it may cross again and trying to help climb it up more. Stochastic though is kind of high.
From Bloomberg World Headquarters in New York, here are the top stories on the Bloomberg, and from around the world, we are following. Life after Lloyd. David Solomon has been named the sole president and COO at Goldman Sachs, putting Solomon in line to replace Lloyd Blankfein as CEO. U.S. stocks kicking off the week in the green. Investors still riding away from Friday's jobs report.
Dow Jones is up 67, 68 now. It's good. A little struggle here. Just consolidating though. So it's just fine. Here it's consolidating a little bit just because it's trying to cross.
And on this Monday morning, Bonnie, we have gains for the major averages. The Dow, S&P 500, and the NASDAQ all modestly to nicely higher. Take a look at the NASDAQ, up 0.4%, putting in another all-time high. In fact, right now, the NASDAQ up 7 days in a row. Its longest such daily winning streak of the year since October of last year. So the bulls really starting to take charge. Of course, we've had some volatility this year. At one point, we had a sell-off. But now the major averages are all up nearly 5% on the year. So pretty interesting to note that. And last week, of course, big gains driven by a strong payrolls report. And it seems that investors are still going along with that theme.
Bank of America trying to hit 33 again.
Volatility breeds volatility. So let's see what is ahead. So far, lots of whipsaw. So there could be some more and perhaps the next to the downside. Now, of course, one of the big company stories today, Goldman Sachs. If we take a look at a 2-day chart of Goldman Sachs.
A little struggle here for Chevron.
This is the bank, the big investment bank, has named David Solomon as the sole president. He is in line to be the next CEO to succeed Lloyd Blankfein, who will be stepping down at some point. And during Lloyd Blankfein's tenure so far, the stock up 77%.
Stochastic is super low though. MACD is headed down.
Goldman Sachs up a little more than 10% relative to JP Morgan, up about 30%. So some may want more out of Goldman Sachs's trading business, plus perhaps a diversification.
Okay, here you can see Apple. It did hit 182
Some of the chip stocks, but it's a bit of a mixed bag. Take a look at
right
Intel,
here, so that's good.
2%. This on a Wall Street Journal report that Intel could bid for Broadcom, the big chip maker that is currently trying to take over Qualcomm in a hostile manner. So we see that Broadcom up about 3% on this possibility.
Here you can see it's with that support right here. It's trying to bounce it back up. So right here you can see supporting right here, supporting right here. So you got a bottom, you got a top here, but you got a top here. So this was a bigger channel consolidation, and then it went into a smaller one. So right now, you know, second bottom here, top here, third bottom here. So you could see it reach another top here and see how long it lasts into that. Just going in like that.
stretch of $158 billion. Abigail Doolittle, thank you. Coming up, live after Lloyd, David Solomon has been named the sole president and COO at Goldman Sachs, putting him in line to replace Lloyd Blankfein as CEO. This is Bloomberg.
5 minute. 5 minutes here looking good on the price action. MACD looking decent. The histogram a little bit of a struggle. Stochastic is still going down, but with this big increase right here, we could see it turn around soon and then finally get out of its consolidation and break up. Apple 182. Here it's 80. I don't think I'm gonna buy anything with my margin though today, because today looks like everything is more in a consolidation. So I don't think I'm gonna buy anything today and then hold it until tomorrow. I don't think that would be the wise decision. So I'm not gonna do that. But look at this though, Chevron. See how it started above its 100-day consolidation right here, and it's working on its way up. Stochastic is kind of high though. That's my only worry there. So I'd be watching it tomorrow for pretty good. But other than that, today it's doing just fine because it's consolidating. And here with the MACD, it's trying to cross on the 1 minute. 5 minutes, still trying to help climb it up more. It's touching that top where I said it was a top, and it bounced down a little bit. You can see it bouncing down a little bit. Okay, we got another minute, 3 seconds for the next 5-minute candlestick, but 1 minute here, a little struggle.
Tweeted Friday, quote, "It's like it's the Wall Street Journal's announcement, not mine. I feel like Huck Finn listening to his own eulogy." Bloomberg's Eric Schatzko has been following the story, joins us now. And Eric, I believe you just got off the phone with Goldman Sachs. What's the latest that you can tell us?
No comment from Goldman Sachs. They're standing by their statement, Vonnie and Sherry, but I will say that I spoke with someone who is familiar with the deliberations.
Oh, a little down right here.
Important things. First of all, Lloyd Blankfein told the board at a meeting on February 21st that David Solomon should be the sole president and in line to succeed him as CEO, and the board accepted Lloyd's recommendation. That is important. That tells us a few things. One, that what we've learned today is not the product of hasty negotiations over the weekend that were the result of the report in the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal or at least the report of the Wall Street Journal might have accelerated some things.
So yeah, today's everything is just in the consolidation. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll be more than happy to answer them. But because one, I'm out of day trades, I'm kind of stuck until at least tomorrow. You know, there's not much that I'll be doing today. Two, you know, it's because it's in a consolidation, I'm not going to use my margin and buy it today and hold it until tomorrow, because we don't know how tomorrow is going to look. 3, there's, you know, not much to do, so not too much reason to keep the stream open, because there's not much that we can really do. If you guys have any questions though, I can keep the stream on for a few more minutes and see if you guys have any other questions. Feel free to text me, message me on the, do open up the chat on the YouTube channel that you're on right now. Let me know if there's anything there.
And that's the thing, I think that's maybe being a little bit overlooked. People are saying he's head of the investment bank, but he has a background in leveraged loans and debt sales and,
That is investment banking. It's just debt capital markets, which is a business Goldman had very little presence in before David Solomon joined the firm. So much of the credit for Goldman's presence as a major financier in debt capital markets goes to David Solomon.
Okay, back in the 90s for Chevron, so it's trying to break out of the smaller consolidation and about to reach the top of the bigger consolidation. Right here, it's the price action is kind of consolidating a little bit. Stochastic, it wants to climb up, but it's having a little struggle right here. MACD going down a little bit.
That stood out for Lloyd and stood out for the board and helped to explain why David Solomon was named the sole president and chief operating officer today.
And he has his work cut out for him. I mean, the chart 6275 on the Bloomberg just showing you just the stock price of Goldman lagging behind other banks. What will be Solomon's key challenge going forward?
Well, let's not forget Lloyd Blankfein is still the CEO. So it's Lloyd Blankfein's challenge until such a time as he leaves. But the moment that you name a sole president and likely successor, the clock starts to tick. And yes, it's a shared responsibility between Lloyd and David Solomon now because Harvey Schwartz is out of the picture. What does he have to do? He has to build some businesses. He has to go back and do what he's done before, to move Goldman Sachs into areas where it is currently not strong.
Let's look at Goldman Sachs since they keep talking about him. It's consolidating, curving up a little bit right here with the histogram and stochastic. MACD not yet though. It is with the price actions consolidating there. 5 minutes, 3 red. Stochastic going down. Stochastic on the 100-day chart, really high. It's been in a consolidation, as you can see, about right here to there. It's trying to break up above it because the MACD is doing good, histogram's doing good, price action doing good. Only thing is stochastic is way too high.
He's not a sales and trading guy. Goldman is going back to where it was in some respects.
Amazon. Look at that. Amazon and Apple literally doing just about the same thing. Amazon though breaking up. Ooh, Chevron hit 118 and it's crossing it pretty well. I like to see this.
But Solomon has such a background on Wall Street and has been in it for so long and has been dealing with various different parts of the investment banking business and every other business that he probably will have the full and utter respect of all of the sales trading guys.
Lots of buyers.
You know, it's hard to know, honestly, Ivani. It's really hard to know. I'm sure that he commands respect. He's an extremely successful investment banker. But a trader, he is not. A salesman, he is not. So just how much common DNA is there between David Solomon and the people who run the sales and trading business, Ashok Varadhan, Isabel Alat, and Pablo Salome? That's hard to say. They're not cut from the same piece of cloth. Most of the people in that business at Goldman Sachs are career Goldman Sachs people. David Solomon started at Drexel, and then he went to Bear Stearns. He was one of the rare partners. He was one of the rare individuals.
It's good that it started up, but a little struggle.
It almost never happens.
John Winkelried apparently was
Just trying to climb even higher though, but kind of like a two double top right here, like within the 1 minute.
The broader market is of course higher, but Goldman higher than the broader market.
It's to go past the 21, which it's trying to do. Lots of buyers at 19, but it's struggling to go past 21. 21. Lots of buyers. Oh, sellers came out of nowhere though. Look at that momentum of sellers right here. Buyers are still trying though. Have a break up even higher. See, it's a little consolidation now up here. We'll see what it does. Because the stochastic is super high. MACD and the histogram's doing good, but look at that stochastic. Way too high. And it stayed up there a long time too. So we may see it go down a little bit. Right here.
All right, investors are setting their sights on U.S. economic data. CPI set to be released tomorrow morning. This after Friday's optimistic jobs report sends stocks rallying. Joining us now with what to expect. Plus, to talk a little bit about today's debt auctions is Matthew McGannon.
Alright, so no questions came up. So if you do have any others, I think the market, like I said, is just in a smaller consolidation, and I don't want to do anything today because, you know, I don't want to hold it, into it and then be kind of limited of what I can do and can't sell it until at least tomorrow, so I don't want to do that. So I'm going to hold it and then we'll see how it goes. But other than that, I will be back tomorrow with the live stream. You guys have any questions or concerns, reach out to me. You all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for joining in.